Going to do a quick little overview of the Tempest firework from Pyro Predator. It says caution, emits showers of sparks and spins on ground. Okay, I was told by the firework tent that this was going to be a mine cake. Based off of the description, I don't think it's mine cake. I think it's just a fountain. I was a little bit leery about getting this in the first place, but since they told me it was a mine cake, I wanted to try it out. But the reason I was leery is because the first one I picked up, right here in the center on the bottom, there was something poking out, and I wasn't really sure what that was. Thought it was probably broken of some kind, so I put it down and picked up the next one, which was this one. I got it home, I cut open the top, and I was a bit surprised to find what I found. Basically, this cake is set up that we light here, and it immediately ignites a fountain right underneath it, and then it has a chain reaction that goes and lights a fountain on each corner. Now, the thing that was surprising to me was that that's all quick match, and it comes back to here, and it should light this piece that spins inside the cake. However, all of that fusing was not connected to that center piece, which was, I assume, the main attraction. The reason being is that if you see down below, the stick that this actually spins on has kind of worn out that cardboard and made a larger hole. So what happened was this thing fell on its side and it ripped out the fusing, and basically the center of this cake would not have launched if I wouldn't have cut it open and checked it out beforehand. So what I'm going to end up having to do is I'm going to figure out some way to get this stick to stay in the center. I'm probably just going to build that hole back up that it's kind of made larger. I'm going to fill that hole up probably with some hot glue, and then I'm going to put this back upright and actually attach, should be both of these leaders, to the quick fuse that goes into the center pieces. So that is the Tempest. I spent $32 on it, probably a lot cheaper elsewhere. The tent I go to is usually a little bit higher priced, unfortunately, and that's what I've got available to me here. I probably would not buy any more of these just because I don't want to have to sit and fix fireworks before I shoot them. Alright, I am outside now so that I have a little bit of safety when it comes to putting a hot glue gun by all this fusing. Taking this thing apart, I noticed that the stick actually doesn't have to move at all. It's just a center support, and the piece that moves is just this spinning wheel here, so it actually can just move inside that plastic. So I would be totally good with completely filling in that hole with hot glue so that the stick can actually just stay still. So as such, I need to move my fusing kind of out of the way so I don't hit it with the hot glue gun. So I'll just kind of tuck it behind the shielding here. Alright, I've got my stick pretty well straight. I'm going to try and do this with one hand while I hold the camera with the other. I'm just going to reinforce this stick with some hot glue on the tight side, and I'm going to try and get a little bit across that hole so that it can hold it in place a little bit better. Alright, I've got my hot glue all set. It's still hardening a little bit, but I mean that stick is pretty well in there, so I think that that's going to hold all of the pressure. I'm going to go ahead and move those fuses back out of the way. They slipped out on me. And I'm just going to take the middle piece and put it back in, set it onto the stick. We can see that it can spin freely inside the box. The stick's not going anywhere. I think that we'll be good. Now the only thing we have left to do is to hook both these fuses back up to this leader piece. I believe that that's where it should start, and then all the rest of this is chained together, and this foil was already in there covering up the fuse. So we will try and get that back on. I don't have any of my magic tape to put on this stuff. I do have some zip ties, so I'm going to go ahead and zip tie. Unfortunately, it will take a couple of hands, so I'm going to go ahead and zip tie, and then I'll show you what the final product should look like at the end. Alright, so this is what we ended up with. All of those leader fuses are now back into the spinning fuses, and all of those are still connected together. I checked. I'm going to go ahead and just take the foil and bend it back over this just to kind of protect it a little bit so we don't get any weird early ignitions, even though this looks like a pretty quick cake. it's going from quickfuse on all of the side fountains or all the corner fountains into just standard visco fuse. So it looks like those burn for a little bit, and then a few seconds later it ignites this centerpiece. So I'll get it all taped up and we'll shoot it off and see what it looks like.